here. First things first, time to make your picks for Thursday Night Football Super 6. One of the questions for tonight's game, which team will win and by how many points? So take a look at the options. Nick, who do you got?
Oakland in a close one. I like the Raiders by less than a touchdown, so I will go with Raiders by 6 or less. I think they're the better team. They're at home. The Chargers tend to zig when you expect them to zag. They're coming off a great win. I think they'll fall flat tonight. I like Oakland tonight, Canty.
Yeah, I'm right there on that train with you. The Oakland Raiders, their style of football is probably going to be a close game. They want to ground and pound. So if it's going to be a close game, I favor the Raiders team over that Chargers team, who has been really inconsistent this season.
All right, well, before the game kicks off tonight, download the Fox Sports Super 6 app. Play for free for a chance to win Terry Bradshaw's $25,000. All right, time for us to go viral now. Carmelo Anthony made his return to the Carrier Dome last night to watch Syracuse take on Kenny's defending champion, Wahoos. That's my friend sitting next to him right there. For the game, he had some words of wisdom for the Orange.
Let's hear this guy say hello to you guys.
I just want to let y'all know how important this is for me to be here on you guys' opening night. You didn't even know I was coming. Like, I wanted to be here for you guys. I know the excitement that's surrounding kind of you guys right now. Nobody gonna give y'all a shot. Everybody gonna count y'all out. But as long as y'all got each other right here, this is what matters. This is what matters. That's what matters right there. These guys behind y'all, they know what they're doing. Stay locked in, keep doing what y'all doing. I'm proud of y'all. I'm here tonight, and I'm ready to see y'all rock. I'm gonna keep it short. I know it's game time.
In the history of the city of Syracuse, New York, of the 5 most important people, 2 of them were standing right there. It's with Jim Boeheim and what he did as a player there, and then building that program in the frozen tundra of upstate New York, and then Melo not only delivering a championship, but a couple years after graduating, donating $3 million to a new basketball facility being built there. Melo, listen, I'll always be partial to Melo because what he did for my school, but he has been so great to that program and that community, and Boeheim obviously as well. On the downside, your team whooped us last night.
Yeah, I don't understand why you buried the lead right there. I know you want to give props to Mel, future basketball Hall of Famer, but let's talk about the real orange and blue team that was out there on that court, my Virginia Cavaliers.
Can we also talk about where he's going to hunt in an outfit like that?
Oh, wow. Wow, shots fired at Melo's style.
I don't hunt. I don't know where you would.
They could have used Mel out on the court last night.
Yeah, maybe
need a little more scoring.
Jump shots.
Just saying.
Can we break 40? Come on,
Time now for Stores to Start Your Morning, sponsored by Ram Trucks, built to serve. In a matchup of Giannis against the Kawhi-less Clippers, Giannis predictably shined. 38 points, 16 boards, 9 dimes. Bucks win 129-124. Nick, is it looking like another MVP season for the Greek Freak?
Yeah, I mean, right now, up to this point in the season, it would be a 24-year-old versus a 34-year-old as the leading MVP candidates in Giannis versus LeBron. If Giannis last year was asserting himself while LeBron was injured and then the team was ineffective late, that he was going to take the throne as the best player in basketball, that came to a screeching halt in Game 3, 4, 5, 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals. I think Giannis is the best pick for MVP, and the Bucks are the best pick to have the best record in the NBA again.
Yeah, it's because the Bucks are in the Eastern Conference, not in the Western Conference. But Giannis has taken strides in terms of trying to develop a more consistent perimeter game, and the fact that he's willing to take those shots and he's made a few of them, that's going to force defenses to respect it, and that's going to open up opportunities for everybody else. But Giannis is picking up where he left off from last season.
He made 4 threes last night, which is what Candy's talking about. It was really impressive.
To the NFL now, and the possible return of Dez Bryant. The former All-Pro wideout announced that he's making another comeback and will contact teams in 2 weeks. We're waiting with bated breath, Dez. Dez signed with the Saints last year, but tore his Achilles in his first practice. Kenny, can you see Dez helping a team this season as a wide receiver?
I can't really see him helping a team this season. Maybe if you have an injury and a team is looking for a veteran wide receiver, maybe they give Dez Bryant a call. But I don't see Dez coming back to the NFL. The only way he's going to be at a game is if he shows up and buys a ticket. So I don't see that happening.
There wasn't exactly a white-hot market for Dez last year, which is why he was out as long as he was, when the Saints finally gave him a call because they were trying to find a number 2 next to Michael Thomas. I mean, this is unfortunate, but he he pops his Achilles. Like, there's not going to be a market for him now that he's a year removed at his age, his size, post-Achilles. I didn't think it would end this way for Dez. He had a truly brilliant 5-year stretch of football, but that's all his career is going to be remembered for, that brilliant 5 years and why it went wrong so early for him when it looked like he should have had a few prime years left.
All right, finally, the NFC is stacked. According to our friends at Fox Bet, the Saints are the favorites to win the conference, followed by the 49ers, the Packers, the Cowboys, and the Philadelphia Eagles. All right, Kenny, who is the best team in the NFC?
I'm going with the New Orleans Saints. In order to be a true contender, you got to be able to win football games a lot of different ways. The Saints have shown us they can win by kicking 4 field goals, as they did against the Dallas Cowboys. They also showed us that they can go out there and score 36 points against a top 10 defense in yards and points, that being the Chicago Bears. So I really like what this Saints team has done, and they've had to overcome some adversity early on in the season, losing their quarterback Drew Brees for 6 weeks with the thumb injury. So the fact that Teddy Bridgewater stepped in and was able to hold down the fort until Drew Brees got back, I think that forced that Saints team to try to figure out different ways in order to win football games. They accomplished that task. That's only going to make them better as the season goes on.
Listen, the Saints are an extraordinary team, and by the way, on these odds, I don't think Seattle's the best team, but Seattle being 12-1 to win the NFC, Seattle being behind Dallas and Philadelphia, to me is outrageous. Like, once again, Russell Wilson and what he's doing gets underrated somehow. Seattle's, to me, should be a clear number 4, if not number 3, but number 4 probably behind. You mentioned the Saints, the Packers, and the Niners. And I don't want to discount the Niners, top 3 offense, top 3 defense, but I'm going to discount the Niners because I don't believe in them and their ability to beat the best teams in football come the postseason. The Saints are great. I think the Packers are better. Now, I get the argument that prove it to me, and it is tough to prove it to you because of the arguments you made, and that we saw the Saints do it with their backup quarterback for, at this point, 3/4 of the season. The Packers had the most impressive resume of any team in football until last week, and it felt to me like they exhaled in that Charger game.
And Aaron Rodgers said that, too. We might have gotten a little ahead of ourselves.
Well, and he didn't like the way they got there, the travel out west, and after going to Kansas City, winning that game on national television the way they did, it felt like the Charger game was a bit of a letdown, and I am willing, because of what the credibility they earned over the first 2 months, to call that an outlier game, to say, okay, listen, they will throw that game out, even though hurts their ability to get the bye, as you always talk about, hurts their ability to be the 1 seed. But I feel like the Packers were just finally starting to hit their stride, and that team is the scariest team in the NFL. A team that doesn't have to have its offense be great to beat you, but its offense can be as great as any offense in football. The difference between the Chiefs and Packers, if we think those are the 2 most talented quarterbacks in the league, in Mahomes and Rodgers, is the Chiefs don't have a hell of a lot of paths to victory against great teams without Patrick Mahomes being the best player in the league.
Agreed.
The Packers have shown you, especially early in the year before Rodgers really got going, that they can beat the Bears, they can beat the Vikings, they can beat really good teams without Aaron Rodgers playing great. And when he does play great, well, then all of a sudden you're up 31-3 on the Dallas Cowboys in a game the Cowboys feel like they've got to have. So I think the Packers are the best team in football, or the best team in the NFC, pardon me. And I'm not going to argue with you too hard, because the Saints, to me, would be the 1A to the Packers 1, but I think the Packers are the best.
Well, here's the thing. I think the Packers will be the best as this thing goes on, as they get more familiar with what Matt LaFleur wants to do in terms of his overall philosophy and his scheme. But I don't think they're there right now. There's too much inconsistency with the running game, and then their defense hasn't shown the ability to consistently stop the run. And to me, that's where football is won and lost once we get into December and January. The teams that are strong in the trenches. That's why I can't discount the San Francisco 49ers, even though I don't trust their quarterback. Nick, you mentioned top 5 offense, top 5 defense. The fact that that offense isn't whole yet, the fact that they're going to get Joe Staley, Mike McGlinchey, and Kyle Juszczyk back at some point, I think that's only going to help Jimmy Garoppolo, who who to this point in the season is the only question mark for that 49ers team.
Would either of you be surprised if the Niners were ended up being the best team in the NFC?
Oh, I wouldn't be shocked if they ended with the best record. I'd be very surprised if they ended in the Super Bowl. And Niner fans and Richard Sherman can say, you know, you weren't on the bandwagon, don't jump on it, keep doubting us, no problem. The Niners are better than I thought they would be. I do not believe that team, even when they get those big people back, and it's a great point that they've been doing it without Joe Staley, and Juszczyk's a huge part of what they do. Probably the best fullback in football. We don't usually talk about fullbacks, but he's excellent in his role in that Kyle Shanahan offense. I don't think they're ready to take that leap. I don't think they're ready to go from a team that's been in the dregs for a number of years to representing the NFC in the Super Bowl.
We'll find out on Monday night, because they got the Seattle Seahawks, a team that has beat them 9 out of the last 10 times.
But enough can't be said for what Kyle Shanahan has done with that team.
He's extraordinary.
Last year. All right, let's take a break. Coming up, should the Browns trade Odell Beckham Jr.? Discuss that next. First things
now
first.
that would be